Hey everybody, Captain B-Nard here with the final episode of the Captain's Recap for the Battle Hub Draft League Season 4. We are going to be talking about all the action out of the semifinals round, and here to discuss that with me, I decided, you know what, I needed a guest to close things out here for the Captain's Recaps that is unparalleled by any other. I needed a guest that would surpass all expectations. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I went ahead and got the only man for the job, my old friend, of course, the meme lord himself, the living, breathing meme, the YouTube icon, in fact. We have, of course, the infamous JoeyFontaine. Welcome aboard.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, happy to have you.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. Yes. So, um, as you know, Joey, I know you haven't really been following the league too closely, but I know you've been following toward the end of the league here at my request in the playoffs of the Battle Hub Draft League. And so, yeah, we're going to be talking about all the action out of the two semifinals matches and then kind of obviously the implications that set up the finals of the league this season. And yeah, I know it's been quite some time since you've been in a draft league, but of course, we have your old logo here on the screen for all to see. It's made the rounds quite a lot in the Discord server as well, thanks to me. But
So yeah, if you have it on my phone, I can actually put it on the screen. I know how to edit pictures on videos.
gotcha. So, um, but yeah, that is pretty much the goal here, and so yeah, we're ready to go. Are you ready, Joey?
Yeah. So wait, no, I'm taking notes, and okay, I spelled picture wrong. I'm using my friend's old phone,
Ah, gotcha.
and it's so old it doesn't have autocorrect. It doesn't have autocorrect.
Oh no, that is a mighty old phone if it does not have autocorrect. So, but
So
yeah,
I spelled picture, but instead of the E, I click a W.
jeez. Well, that's not how you spell picture for sure, but that is
No,
okay.
no, I fixed it.
I have all the spelling right on my screen, and that's what counts. So since that's what the people are going to see. So, but yeah, having said all of that, we're going to go ahead and get going into these matchups here. And the first thing we are going to take a look at, of course, is going to be my match here in the semifinals as I and my Philadelphia Pidgeys, everyone's favorite underdog draft league team, take on the team of Raymond and the Mamoswine Doubters, the former two-time champion here in the Battle Hub Draft League. So, looking at these teams on paper, obviously on Ray's side, you've got a very powerhouse team. I've gone over it at length this season, but he's got the Latios, the Ogerpon base form, the Terrapagos, the Tinkaton, the Mamoswine, the Tornadus Therian, the Standard Wheezing, Lantern, and Blaziken as his Terra captains, and then, of course, the Claw Witzer at the end. So, pretty powerful stuff there. Extremely well rounded team. Going into my team, of course, I have the Sneasler at the top, the premier threat that it is, paired, of course, with the Indeedee male for that psychic terrain unburdened possibility there. We've got the Terra Captains Gudra and Mudsdale, which of course form a larger defensive core on my team with the Scissor and the Rotom Wash. We've got stuff like the Grimmsnarl, the Driftbloom, the Hisuian Arcanine, and the Azelf as well to round the team off. So, um, looking at this matchup on paper here, I don't really see a clear favorite. I think both of our teams are pretty evenly matched here. We've both got a lot of potential threats into the other one's team. I don't really think either one has the advantage over the other. I do think when I was looking at this matchup in prep, so a little bit of background here. I had not faced Raymond in a draft league since the semifinals of the Battle Hub Draft League Season 1, so that was quite a long time ago. And so
Ooh.
Yes. So when I was trying to prepare for this game, looking at this matchup on paper, I was having a tough time because his team is very well rounded, but also the coverage that his Pokemon get is just insane. So the move,
B-Nard, I'm
yes,
not perfect, but do you mind reminding me his team again?
sure, it is Latios, Ogerpon base form, Terrapagos, Tinkaton, Mamoswine, Tornadus Therian, Weezing, Lantern, and Blaziken, which are his Terror captains, and then Clawwitzer at the end. So, um,
Yeah, you didn't have a switch into that normal type.
yeah, unfortunately, that was definitely a
Yeah, you
concern.
didn't have a.
Yeah. Uh,
Also, it does get water pulse, by the way.
Yes, yeah. So feeding back to what I was saying, yeah, the coverage that his Pokemon get, like the Terrapagos gets insane coverage, obviously. The Ogerpon gets great coverage. The Latios gets great coverage. So a lot of the Pokemon, the premier threats on his team get great coverage. The Blaziken and the Lantern as well, especially being Terra captains. So I was having definitely a tough time prepping for this game from that perspective. Um, but obviously, I my threats could definitely do some work to his team outside of like a fully defensive Wheezing, which I was 100% expecting. Sneasler could have a good time into his team potentially. Um, but yeah, I don't really have too much else to say about that. Do you have anything else to say about these two
Uh,
teams on
so
paper?
your team had a Jolteon?
No, that wasn't me. That was the other guy. We'll get it. We'll get to him in a
Okay,
second.
my
But
bad.
yes.
What is your team? I'm sorry.
So my team is. I did send you the pictures, so you could look at those if you want. But
Okay,
um,
well I have to cut the screen off for that.
oh, okay. Well, never mind then. So yeah, so I got the Sneasler, Gudra, Scissor, Rotom Wash, Indeedee, Male, Mudsdale, Grimmsnarl, Drifblim, Hisuian Arcanine, and Azelf. So that was my team.
uh, you didn't suspect Choice Scuff Latias, Latios.
I definitely thought I knew I thought in the prep for this game, I thought there was gonna be something that he was gonna bring that was gonna be Scarf for sure. I actually thought there was a possibility he would bring a Scarf Tornadus, just because Tornadus outspeeds my whole team by 1 point, and so if he runs max speed with a Scarf, he can outspeed my whole team even if I'm Scarf. So I thought there was a chance he would bring that. But I did think that there was a chance Latios would be Scarf as well. So I definitely did think there was a potential that there. I thought for sure something was going to be Scarf on his team. I thought Terrapagos would be a problem going in. Um, and yeah, and I thought fully defensive Wheezing would be a problem as well for me. Um, so, but yeah, looking
I
at the.
mean,
Sorry, go ahead.
just gonna go and look at I'm gonna pull up the pictures.
Yeah, go for it.
So we're looking at the. Okay, it doesn't want to show me.
Well,
Uh,
it happens.
so there we go. I can see it, and the video I can see it.
Perfect. Technology.
So I'm looking at the wrong team. Whoops. It is this one.
The memes.
So
Gotta love the
I'm looking.
memes.
Oh, the meme. You want me to put a meme?
No, no, no. I just
I
said
can make
gotta love.
memes.
I said gotta love the memes. I got plenty of memes. Don't worry. But
I don't
anyway,
know why. It could be just me. Why don't you didn't use choice banded Arcanine?
yeah.
I don't know what this.
So I had considered running Choice Band Hisuian Arcanine in this match. My concern for that was I didn't want to be locked into moves, right? Because like my strategy when I was prepping for this game was I saw that he didn't have a lot of good switch-ins to the combination of the rock and the fire coverage, which is why I wanted to bring Hisuian Arcanine to this match. But I didn't want to be choice because I didn't want to be locked into one move because I thought that if he could get the reads right, like say he reads the rock move and he goes into Tinkaton, that would be good for him. Or say he reads the fire move and switches into like Latios or something, then that would also be.
Latios is gonna do over half to it.
Yeah, that's true too.
You
Um,
won't be switching too many in Latios. Let's say let it die.
fair, fair, fair. So yeah, I was
And
considering.
if you're banded, you can also just switch out and extreme speed it later.
So I did think about that, but I was kind of just like I didn't want to be choice locked into anything with Arcane. I wanted the option to change my move up, so that was kind of my thought process there. Um, but yeah, when we
Uh, I wish you could do with assault vest, unless you're not allowed using assault vest.
No, well, that was another consideration as I thought about Assault Vest Gudra in this match. But I was like, for this season, I have been using leftovers a lot on Gudra, and it seems to work out like as the terror, because Gudra doesn't have reliable recovery outside of leftover, obviously an item, and so that's been working out pretty well for me. So that's kind of why I stayed with that. Um, but yeah, I have run assault vest a couple of times in the past this season. Historically, I've used assault vest Gudra a lot. It was a consideration, but again, I just kind of thought that the recovery would be better because I was anticipating getting chipped with Gudra more, that kind of thing. So um,
But if you want to assault vest, you would take a specs attack a lot better.
that is true, yes, definitely. But as you know, as they say, hindsight, which there's going to be a lot of that here, of course. Um,
I'm
but
surprised they didn't bring Grimmsnarl to all Pokemon. The
yeah,
Prince of Screens and Holding Shot would be very annoying.
yeah. So that was another consideration that I had when I was prepping. So let me just say this. I will say this. Prepping for this game, I would say I probably put more thought into prepping for this game than I did any other match this season, just because obviously it's a semifinals match. Obviously, it's against somebody as accomplished as this guy Raymond is, and so I did a lot of thinking and I kicked a lot of ideas around in my head for this matchup, and I heavily considered Grimmsnarl was another Pokemon that I heavily considered, but I didn't like the fact that it couldn't really do anything to the Wheezing, which I was expecting fully defensive Wheezing, which it couldn't really do anything to. It would get probably one shot by Tinkaton with a Gigaton Hammer, and I was expecting Tinkaton. So I thought that we Grimmsnarl, while it did have a good match into say like the Latios, for example, it didn't seem like overall it was going to be the best. Also, stuff like Terrapagos and I don't know, it didn't seem like the best of matches in this week for me. Um, but yeah, I
But
think
screens would save you a lot.
yeah,
If you had screens, it would save you a lot. That
screen
specs attack is a nightmare.
yes, screens definitely would have saved me up against those specs attacks from Terrapagos for sure. But as they say, hindsight, of course. So, but yeah, you could probably already tell if you haven't seen the game already where this is going. But yeah, if we take a look at the actual match results here for the game, we will in fact see that it was Raymond that did take the win in this match, 2-0. It was a pretty tight victory for him. Um, we kind of already talked about it a little bit, but going through what happened in this game, so I'll kind of give you my perspective of as I saw this game. So first off, I think I did get the lead wrong because I was kind of torn between leading either Rotom or Sneasler in this matchup, and the thing that made me want to lead Rotom was just the fact that he had the Tornadus on deck, and so I was a little concerned about that. Like I said, the potential of that being Scarf, just because it would outspeed everything if it was. Um, so I opted to lead Rotom, which ended up being a bad choice because he led with Terrapagos, obviously. And he pretty much just immediately, as you alluded to, he pretty much just immediately started spamming Choice Specs Terrasar Storms, which even resisted like two shots pretty much my whole team. So at like two shots Scissor, at two shots Hisuian Arcanine, even though they resist it. I think with leftovers recovery, Scissor can barely take two, I want to say. Um, but yeah, it was definitely a bad time. Terrapagos was very powerful into my team, unfortunately.
B-Nard, what is
Yep.
your investment in season?
So
Cypher, whatever you call it.
I did have max HP investment on the scissor, and max attack investment.
You should have special defensive. You have very hard special attackers you're facing.
Yeah, so I could have maxed out the special defense of the scissor. Maybe that would have been a better way to
You can
go.
run Careful Nature with knockoff, so you can knock off any scary items and take a hit.
Yes, yes,
With left order.
yes. Yeah, I do. I have liked my leftovers. I will say, this season for sure. But yeah.
You
So
love using that.
yes, I do love the leftovers. Absolutely. Um, but yeah, so that kind of got the game off on a rocky start for me. And then he actually, in addition to that, he basically spammed knockoff on all of his Pokemon too, which kind of got rid of all my items like my leftovers, which made it so that I couldn't heal stuff like the Gudra and the Scissor back high enough that I could take another Terrastar Storm from that Terrapagos. So it was definitely rough for me there toward the middle of the game for sure. I feel like I didn't play this game the best. I'd say there was definitely some over predicting on both sides for my opponent and I in this game. I do feel like I could have played the game a little bit better, um, but I think one of the big things that cost me in this game too, and I only want to talk about it briefly, was um, I was definitely losing a lot of momentum thanks to him spamming the knockoffs and the Terra Star Storms choice specs. And so toward the middle of the game, I was kind of behind the eight ball a little bit, and I had a situation where I had Hisuian Arcanine in against the Terrapagos, and I go for a head smash to try and deal as much damage as I can to that thing, even though I know it's not going to take it out because it still has a Terror Shell active. And unfortunately, I end up missing the head smash because, God forbid, Game Freak would come out with a rock move that's 100% accurate. So, um, so
Yeah,
unfortunately,
there's only one of them is Ancient Power.
well, I guess there's Ancient Power, and I guess there's Ivy Cudgel, which only Ogerpon rock form gets, if you want to count that. Which yeah, I guess you can barely count that if you want, because
Every other move has a chance of missing.
yeah, even like man, I tell you, it is definitely a pet peeve of mine that there is no accurate rock, like perfectly accurate rock move. Like that's definitely a pet peeve.
Beater,
But
Beater, you need no guard.
mm, yeah, no, I need
You
a
need
no.
no guard stone hedges.
Yes, no, I need no guard stone edges from Machamp that isn't in this game, unfortunately. But
Also,
um,
the what is it? Lycanroc.
yes, Lycanroc Midnight, right? I need to
Yeah, no
get
guard.
need to get Lycanroc Midnight so I can spam those no guard stone edges. Yes. So, but
The
yeah,
bad news
so
is it also works for your opponent.
yes, that's the bad news. Yes. So I did end up missing the head smash, which was pretty devastating. And I feel like so at that point in the game, like I will say at that point in the game, I was behind the eight ball and I was kind of like fighting for my life already at that point in the game, like toward the middle. And so missing that head smash basically just kind of sealed my fate in the game because I needed to get enough chip on the Terrapagos that I could take it out with something else later because I knew that Arcanine wasn't going to be able to get the job done. But yeah, I could have if I would have hit that head smash, I would have got enough chip on it, and then that plus the extreme speed the next turn would have gotten enough chip on it that I could have taken it out relatively easily with something else. So yeah, that was a big downfall for me in this game was missing that head smash, but also um, like I said, I think I did some over predicting as well. There was a turn where I could have close
Yeah,
come.
he stayed in and you U-turn instead of close comment.
Yeah, I thought he was going to switch out there, but it turns out he stayed in. So yeah, that was an over predict on my side. I know earlier in the game he made a couple over predicts as well against the Scissor, I think with the Tornadus. So yeah, there was definitely a little over predicting on both sides, but yeah, the miss was devastating for me. And then yeah, toward the end of the game, what I really needed was I needed to try and keep Rotom healthy, which it took an explosion from a Wheezing, which chipped it all the way down to the point that it could get easily picked off by Latios. And yeah, unfortunately, it's just it was not in the cards at that point. The Terrapagos had just done too much damage to my team, and the head smash miss was devastating. As I said multiple times at this point. Um, so, but yeah, I will say, toward the end, kind of the as a last act of defiance, one thing I did appreciate was Sneasler ended up getting a crit U-turn on the Latios to take it out. So that was basically, as I perceive it, that was basically just Sneasler spitting in the face of my opponent before it was executed. So I appreciated that.
Yeah,
Um, I appreciate the hell out of Sneasler actually as a Pokemon, and I'll talk more about that when I do my after this. Spoiler alert: there's going to be coming later a captain's table where I just kind of review the season, but that's pretty standard. Um, but yeah, so yeah, and then the match ended on the Terrapagos taking out the Sneasler. So yeah, but all in all, my thoughts of this game are I am happy. While I am happy that I made it all the way back to the semifinals, um, I am disappointed that I didn't make it any farther. At the end of the day, I do feel like could I have prepped a little bit better? Yeah. Could I have played a little bit better? Yeah. The one hack definitely set me back. But I think at the end of the day, my biggest issue in not winning this game was simply that I just didn't play well enough to win it. I think I did prep well enough, even despite maybe I could have made some better prep decisions. But I do think that the main reason I didn't win this game was just that I didn't play well enough to win, and my opponent did.
Oh,
So
so you're missing 90 accuracy move, I believe.
yes, that's what we've been talking about, Joey. The head smash miss. Yes. So
Yeah, yeah, not in it 90 accuracy. What is the
yes,
accuracy
it
on the
is.
head smash?
It is 90% accurate. Yes.
That's a lie.
It certainly feels like it. I'll tell you what, that it feels like it misses way more than 1 out of every 10. But that's
You know, it sucks missing Secret Fire and Sky Attack.
actually I would also argue on that note, Meteor Beam, since we're talking about inaccurate rock moves. I got to tell you, as a tangent, the fact that Meteor Beam can miss when it's a 2-turn charge attack, the fact that it can miss is just disgusting to me. Like that, like I get Rock is probably the best type offensively, but like that's just ridiculous to me that a 2-turn charge attack would not have 100 accuracy. But anyway, so yeah, that is what it is. The Philadelphia Pidgeys do go down here in the semifinals, and they do get eliminated. As I did say before, though I am a bit disappointed. There's definitely no shame in losing to a player the caliber of Raymond. He's a former two-time champion in this league for a reason. He's back in the finals this season. The worst he's ever done is make it to semifinals. So, if there's anybody that you're going to lose to around these parts, it's going to be this guy, and there's no shame in that. So, but yeah, do you have anything else you want to say about this matchup, Joe? I think that's pretty much it for me. But
Oh, it's fine.
okay, so moving along from this matchup, that is going to bring us to our other semifinal matchup, which is of course going to be the matchup of Scorpion and his Leaf Agents taking on Abomination and his Athabasca slash ABCDEFG, the king of the alphabet, Miltanks. So.
Mm,
Um, of course, on Scorpion's team, you can see very powerful stuff. He's got that Palafin, definitely the premier threat that it is. Just an absolute powerhouse in every sense of the word. He's got the Zapdos, the Ting-Lu, the Cyclizar, the Ogerpon Cornerstone. The Terra Captains are Delphox and Primeape. He's also got Mimikyu, Reverum, and Klefki. So, um,
Man brought a pair of keys to a fight.
yes, or did he? He drafted a pair of keys, but did he actually bring it? Is the question. So, um, but yeah, pair that up against Abomination's team, and he's got what many, myself included, considered to be the best team on paper in the league this season. Most well-rounded. So he's got from top to bottom the Great Tusk, the Clefable, the Dragonite, the Heatran, the Jolteon, as you mentioned before, the aforementioned Jolteon, which is one of his Terror Captains, alongside Vileplume and Electric. And then he's also got Suicune, Chinchino, and Reuniclus. So, once again, when I look at these teams on paper, I really see no clear favorite. I think
Mm,
definitely some of Scorpion's threats definitely match up well into Abomination's team. Vice versa, some of Abomination's threats match up well into Scorpion's team. But um, all in all, I think these teams are very well rounded, very strong. We have seen this match in the past. Actually, back in week 8, which was one of my off weeks, so I didn't do a captain's recap for that week. But it was Scorpion that did win the match in the regular season between the two of these, albeit there were some hacks involved, and it was just barely a 1-0 victory, I believe. But he did nonetheless take the win in that one. But yeah, all things considered, I don't see a favorite in this matchup. What do you think about it, Joey?
Uh, so, uh, how did you? Actually, I prefer the what is it? The abomination, whatever his name is.
Abomination, yeah. You prefer Abomination's team?
Yeah,
You're
so
saying?
I like his team. His team is pretty cool. He has the man brought some old gen Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's one of the
He's repping
like
Gen
almost
One.
one for every gen.
He's repping Gen 1 hard. Absolutely. So fair
Yeah,
enough.
so it's pretty cool that
Yeah, absolutely. So um, but yeah, when we look,
I
oh, go ahead.
I should he should prep more just because we I watched the game because
Yeah.
you asked me to.
Yes.
He should prep. He brought the Pokemon because the fans want him to bring it. That's it. The electric.
Yeah, he did say that. Yes, he did. He did say he brought the
So he
electric.
literally brought it. Just he did it because somebody asked him to bring it for, and it basically got you hit KO'd.
Well, hold on. He did say in his defense, he did say that he looked into it because of a fan suggestion, and then he decided that it would have an okay matchup and brought it. Now, I have mixed feelings about that. I mean, well, first of all, I have to say you of all people should appreciate a good meme, right? So we have to say
Yes.
that. But beyond that, I will say that I don't think Electric is that bad of a Pokemon for a not fully evolved. I think it's actually pretty strong for a not fully evolved, and I do see the downside. Like his other choices would have been either the Suicune or the Vileplume. Would have one or the other of those would have filled that slot instead of the Electric in his game.
But then also, Suicune will help him on the Palafin that ruins his day. That we saw the
Yes,
game,
yes, I did see the
and
game.
also Ting Lu to extend. You can Ting Lu can actually take still hits because of the ability,
Yeah.
and he basically look at his team. The one he has no water resist besides the Dragon, Psychozard, or the Palafin.
Yes. Yeah. The Dragonite or
But
the
Ultra can also get Air Slash, but I don't even run Air Slash at all.
yeah. It does. It does get that. So, but you probably wouldn't use it. Yeah. Yeah. So definitely. If there's any big point, I would definitely be that. Yeah, he does struggle with the with water resistances because it's like Vileplume does have the water resistance, but then if he terras it, it's probably going to lose that water resist unless he goes Terra Water with it.
Well,
Um,
he can see that's not his tail capping.
no, Vileplume is
Only
one of his Terra Captains. It is one of his Terra Captains,
no,
Vileplume.
okay, I meant the other guy with the Palafin. He got rid of Palafin.
Oh yeah, Palafin can't Terra. No, not at all. Um, but yeah. So the so as far as Suicune goes, I think it's a little bit of a double-edged sword because like yeah, Suicune can tank hits from Palafin, but then it can't do a lot to Palafin in return, which is kind of the problem. So I see he did. I did talk to him about that post game a little bit, and I do kind of agree. Like I on paper, yes, Suicune can kind of take hits from Palafin, but then it's like what does it really do in return? I guess it could like extra sensory or shadow ball or
It,
something, but
it could carry a Rocky Helmet because most
well,
Palafin attack is physical.
mm, it could chip. Yeah, the best the Suicune could do would be just chip it, which yeah, it could chip it for sure. But yeah, so I don't know if he would have done any better bringing either the Suicune or the Vileplume there. I'm not sure if either one of them would have worked out better for him, um, but yeah, so when we take a look at the actual match results for this game here, we are going to see that it was in fact Scorpion that did win this matchup, 2-0 again, and once again it was a very competitive affair, very tight matchup. Um, Definitely hard fought and well played for the most part on both sides, I will say. Um, like I said, I do think that perhaps maybe they could have done a few things differently in this matchup, but all in all, nothing crazy. Um, I do think that there was actually speaking of I guess that's going to be the theme of this week is rock moves with less than 100 accuracy missing at crucial points in the match, which is a
Yeah,
specific.
did he miss his Stone Edge?
He did, yes. So he had great Tusk. Yeah, so he had great Tuskin against Ogerpon, I think it was, and so he opts to go for he's choice Scarf on Great Tusk because he got tricked to choice Scarf, right? And so
Yeah.
he goes for the Stone Edge, just hoping to get Chip on the what's it called the Ogerpon, and he ends up missing the Stone Edge, which in retrospect was actually a huge miss because the fact that that Ogerpon was not chipped from the Stone Edge meant that it actually survived an attack from Heat Ran. It meant that it was able to also then not only knock out the Heat Ran, but then it was also able to break Dragonite's multi-scale by getting an attack off on that as well. So that was just another absolutely devastating miss. So if anything, Abomination, Al, man, I feel your pain this week as we both kind of got cheesed off of rock move misses in these really important games here. Not to say
So
that. Yeah, go ahead.
so if he's adamant in max attack and if he dragon dance because multi skill will let him live, I'm pretty sure his shooting speed will KO the HP is at.
Yeah, it's kind of close. I think the reason he didn't do that is because he didn't want to risk it. But yeah, I think it because the Ogre Pond got a Trailblaze up, so it was like worst case scenario, right? Where that turn when the Great Tusk missed the Stone Edge on the Ogre Pond, and then the Ogre Pond takes it out with a Trailblaze, gets that speed boost, which means that even a +1 Dragonite won't outspeed it anymore. So it's like, yeah, he could have, I guess he could have Dragon Danced and then hoped that the extreme speed was enough to take the Ogre Pond out. Um, but even then, I think he's still in kind of a bad situation because I don't think even a +1 extreme speed takes the Palafin out from that range, and then the Palafin can
In
pick the
my opinion, he should run some HP on Jolteon to try to live a what is it?
a Jet Punch.
The parody, yeah, Jet Punch, and
Yeah, I mean,
also give it Quick Feet.
yes, yeah. So he had he that was a the in the closing moments of the matchup there. He that's what happens is it comes down to whether or not Jolteon can live a Jet Punch, and unfortunately it can't. And that kind of closes the matchup out. So yeah, I mean, he could have if he would have had some HP investment on the Jolteon, perhaps, or if he was obviously if he was Terra Grass, although that's just that's hindsight as well. I understand why he was Terra.
But yeah, he brought the wrong Terra. That
Well, I
he brought
under
the wrong Terra.
well, I understand why he was Terra Ice because he wanted to one shot the Zapdos with a Terra Blast Ice on Jolteon, so that's why he was Terra Ice. So I get that. So I can't really even blame him for that.
What does Zapdos do to Jolteon? Without anyways,
Well, Zapdos can't do a lot to Jolteon, that's true. Although, unfortunately, that's the other downside of bringing Terra Grass, because if he's Terra Grass on the Jolteon, then that means he can get picked off by
okay.
by a flying move from Zapdos. Yeah, so I totally get why he was Terra Ice on the Jolteon. If there was any, I will say this: if there was any mistake on Abomination side, and I don't think there was really too many mistakes on either side in this match. Um, but I think one thing on Abomination's side was that again going back to that critical turn with the Ogre Pawn and the Great Tusk, I feel like it would have been a smarter move for him to switch the Great Tusk out into Heatran at that point. Just because knowing that Ogre Pawn could go for Trailblaze, not that he knew for sure that he would, but knowing that that was a possibility, that I think was the smart play. But not only that, but um, having Great Tusk Choice Scarf is actually not a terrible thing because it outspeeds everything. I believe it outsped everything on Scorpion's team at
Uh,
with a Choice
so
Scarf. So so
so what I'm considering is why don't he has Flame Body on Heatran?
I don't know if he had
I don't
like
know.
did he. I
Rock
don't know if he had.
Fire. They only help you on Delphox, but who's gonna make Delphins against a Heatran?
Yeah, so that's another catch 22, right? So like he could run Flame Body on Heatran and then hope to get lucky with a Flame Body burn on a contact move. That's a possibility. But then if he
That's so annoying. I speak for experience.
yeah, so he could do that, but then if he does that, like you said, then it kind of leaves him susceptible to the Delphox. So I don't blame him for any of that really. But yeah, so I do think similar. I think the stories of both of these games, in my opinion, are very similar. To the point that both of these games seem like they were decided by maybe a couple of suboptimal plays and then one critically timed hack. Um, so yeah, but I will give credit obviously to Scorpion, obviously picking up the win in this one. I think he definitely played a very good game, prepped very well. Similarly with Raymond in my game, they definitely both played and prepped very good games. And so yeah, they both earned the victories in these ones. Obviously, be it Pokemon being what it is, with the small amount of RNG that we saw in both of these games as well added, but that doesn't take away from the fact that both of these coaches did play and prep very well. So, um, but yeah, there you have it. Those are your two winners of your semifinal matchups here. So, um, of course, that is then going to set up which hasn't happened yet. That is going to go ahead and set up the finals of the Battle of Draft League Season 4. Of course, being Raymond and his Mamoswine Doubters taking on Scorpion and his Leaf Agents. So, yeah, that is your finals match that you will be seeing here in the Battle Hub Draft League Season 4. So, um, I will just throw a couple of thoughts out here with this matchup. Because when I look on this at this matchup here between these two coaches, I'm not really going to psychoanalyze this or anything like that. Um, but I will. I do have a couple of thoughts about this matchup. So I'm kind of a split opinion about this finals matchup here because on the one hand, and I have a feeling this is going to be an unpopular opinion. Um, but on the one hand, I'm really not all that intrigued by this game, to be honest with you guys, because this is kind of like the status quo finals here in the BHDL, because this is two coaches who pretty much always do good in the BHDL. This is a coach in Ray who's won two prior seasons and made the semis in the third in the other season. So obviously he is the most accomplished coach in the BHDL, and he is now facing pretty much the second most accomplished coach in the BHDL in Scorpion, multiple times semifinal and finals appearances. So it's kind of just the case of like player who usually wins and always does good versus player who usually always does good and hasn't won yet. And on paper, I believe these coaches are are the top two by the numbers, the top two coaches in the Battle Hub Draft League. So from that perspective, it's not super intriguing to me to see them face off. I guess the most intriguing part about this matchup is the fact that um, I believe, and I could be wrong about this, so don't quote me on it. I believe Ray has never actually beaten Scorpion in the BHDL. I think every time they faced, which is like two or three times now, I think Scorpion has won, which is interesting because it's like, you know, Ray wins the whole league most of the time, but then Scorpion is one of the few coaches that he seems to have a bad track record against. So that's really the intriguing part to me. Um, it's kind of like because it's a weird situation because both coaches kind of feel like they're the favorites going into the match, which is kind of a strange thing to say, but um but yeah, it's I don't know. It's usually when let me say usually when I like what I like to see out of my games, I will say is I like to see more of an added layer of intrigue, I guess. And and with this game, like I said, this just really seems like the status quo finals to me because it's the two coaches who always consistently do good and who are always consistently just right there. So there's that from that perspective. But of course, on the other hand, you're definitely guaranteed to have a game where you're going to see two coaches who are very good at what they do face off in a highly competitive matchup. So I have no doubt that the game will be a very close, very competitive affair between two very skilled players. Um, but um, but yeah, that's the finals matchup that we have there. For better or worse, that is your finals matchup here in the BHDL4. Any thoughts on that, Joey, on this finals matchup here?
So yeah, the game is good. Well, I watched it because yeah. But I wish the guy didn't bring a Pokemon because the fan asked him to. He tried to win a
You're
tournament
still
here.
you're still
Well, the
you're still stuck on that, huh? That's funny. I
yeah,
understand. Do you have any?
he probably did it for the memes.
Let me ask you this, Joey. So do you have any thoughts on these two coaches? Do you have you had any experience with either of these coaches battling them or interacting with them or anything? I don't know if you have.
Uh, I'm the only person I battled is you. I didn't battle any of them.
Okay, well, I was talking specifically about Raymond and Scorpion and the our two coaches
Well,
that are in the
Scorpion is
finals here.
afraid of me joining the league. You told me that.
Actually, I do have a question for you, Joey. While we're on the subject, I have a question for you. So so Scorpion, I will tell you this, full disclosure. I've been lobbying pretty hard for the prospect of trying to get you to join the Battle Hub Draft League next season, to try and get you to dust off the old Montreal Tryhard Landorus and give it a go here.
You just want to use
The logo,
the
yes.
thumbnail
Yeah.
if we ever play.
Yes, absolutely. Um, so, so, but Scorpion has been very adamantly opposed to you joining the league. Now, he claims that it is because that there is some sort of dark history between the two of you of sorts. And so I want to just ask you while I have you here. What do you know what he's talking about? Like, what's the deal with that? Do you guys have some sort of awful history with each other, or what's going on with that? What's the deal with that?
Well, me being on Facebook for a long time,
Okay.
well, I have a lot of history with a lot of people.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
I don't know who Scorpion is on Facebook, so I actually don't know him
Okay.
besides from being in a lot of servers.
Okay. So
Even Abomination, when I comment on his video, he called me, "Oh, the infamous JoeyFontaine, nothing's up." I asked him
gotcha.
what's up.
Gotcha. So
So I don't know. They know each other for a while. No,
okay. So you're saying that there's really nothing there. That there's really nothing there between the two of you.
I he probably afraid of me like most other people.
Well, I suppose that is a possibility. I mean, who wouldn't
Remember,
be
I sent
afraid?
you a screenshot of the person who hasn't battled me in over 2 years.
Who's that?
Remember, what is it? The I sent you. Let me go to it. The HIM
Oh, HI.
Notorious man ducking me from 2022.
You're just a house of fire today, man. I'll tell you. I
No,
love
but
it though.
I've been away from the challenge tree.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
just plan the battle. Like it's hard to battle somebody who battles a lot of people, or just don't battle at all.
Just
When the last time you post something?
this is your PSA, everybody. Joey will take on all comers. Yes, he will. So, um,
I would try to do an OU battle, but if they want to do any other tier, we can do that. Or if you do doubles, I like to do 6-on-6 though. I don't want to do 3-on-3. I too
yes,
should. Can't upload that.
absolutely. You can't have that. Not at all.
And you know, if you
100%.
want to do a 6-on-6 battle, let me know a double. But you have to
Yes.
do double rules, so you have to look at the rules for doubles because they're different from singles.
I don't want to do doubles. Nah, I'm more of a singles fan myself, but yeah, definitely we can get something
You're
going.
afraid I might beat you in. I know VGC though. I used to play it.
I very rarely dabble into VGC, very rarely. But yeah, so yeah, I'll probably stick with the singles. But yeah, definitely we'll have to get another match going sometime soon. But definitely we've tangented off here a lot. So let's bring it back and wrap this up here.
Yeah.
So yeah, what these two coaches, as I had stated, what these two coaches will be fighting for, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than the honor of being called the BHDL champion, a very prestigious honor that has only been bestowed upon two prior coaches here in 4 seasons of the Battle Hub Draft League. This is the fourth one, of course, and so one of these two coaches will receive the brand new BHDL World Championship that you can see on the screen right there, beautifully photo edited in low quality as always by yours truly.
Low
It's
gravity.
yes, of
I
course.
literally say low gravity with this. You said that with a straight face.
Absolutely, I can say anything with a straight face. So for the most part, but it is all about the humor at the end of the day. But yeah, definitely. I will say good luck to both of those coaches going into the finals between Raymond and Scorpion. I will say, I think whoever wins that match. Will certainly have earned it because they are very tough competitors, obviously, very serious competitors, and so whoever wins that match will undoubtedly have earned it. Um, but yeah, I think that pretty much wraps everything up for us. Yeah, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is your uh, captain's recap for the BHDL4 semifinals, the final week of the captain's recap. I wanted to make this one as entertaining as possible, and so I hope I delivered on that. I would also like to thank all of the fans for all the positive feedback on these captain's recaps here, and yeah, it's worked out quite well. So I will also say that you know, the next video that I come out with, as I had alluded to earlier, is going to be a captain's recap here, where I kind of just go over the season as well. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the very next video, because I'm planning to get back to some, for fun singles matches as well. But definitely in the near future, we'll recap the whole season as well. But yeah,
Uh,
go ahead, Joey.
I'll let you know if you want to do some mono battles.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
You
like
haven't do like a single battle with monos yet, and Gen 9 is around the corner probably next year because it's taking forever.
Gen 10, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we got to talk about that on another show. That's definitely a topic for another day. Talking about the what the hell is going on with the Legends ZA. So so yeah, that's definitely something to talk
I'll
about
let you
another
know
day.
if you want to do some mono type, unless you don't like doing
I'm
monos.
not really big on mono battles, to be honest with you. But yeah, definitely we could get like a lower tier 6v6 going for sure. So but
You
yeah, I
let me
think
know the tier and I'll make it team.
you got it. So, but yeah, I think that's going to do it for this one. So, thanks for watching again, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed. Please hit that like button, leave a comment, and/or subscribe if you did enjoy, and stay tuned for more new videos in the future. Once again, I would like to thank my guest, none other than the infamous JoeyFontaine, for joining me here today to discuss all of the action out of the BHDL4 semifinals, as well as a bunch of other random crap. So, thanks for being here, Joey. I think it was a blast, and hope it was as I hope everyone watching this will be as entertained as I was by doing it. So thank you for being here, Joey.
All right, thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, so that's it, and we'll see you next time.